GTP. So this is one of the cars that originally came out with the 5.4 litre Boss engine, it was called back then, and basically the guy had it for a while, liked his car, went with a supercharger system. Bit of a long story, it was a Vortex supercharger system. By the time we saw it, we intercooled it and got it all going a fair bit better. It's had a transmission job, it's got a high stall in it, there's lots of bits and pieces over time with this car. He wanted to go a step further, but he wanted to change it around and make it drive different, really wanted to give it a birthday and change it into a different creature. I should say in that story, the other bit we got to is we built an engine. So it's just forged pistons, H-beam rods, and a nice build, but standard cams, standard engine otherwise, standard heads, but made it strong. So when we went through and had a conversation, we decided that this was probably the best option. This is the Harrop 2300. It's actually a Roush bits and pieces and Harrop bits and pieces, but it's actually a 2300 Eaton supercharger system onto this engine. I've built a custom air cleaner system to go with it. We've also done a couple of little upgrades. Really wanted to see 600 rear wheel horsepower. That was the mandate, get it to 600 rear wheel horsepower. We haven't touched the transmission. The high stall might be changing that. Maybe there's a little bit more power to find there, but we've just got to our 600. We'll go to the graph in a second. What we did to get there was we went to a larger, so it's the big oval throttle body. So that's in there to give us control in that place, to give us a bit more airflow. We also went to a smaller size top pulley and put a large harmonic balancer on the bottom of this engine, so we got more ratio, getting everything to where it's working about where it should be to make that sort of power. Over here at the graph, well, as you just saw, we got to 600 rear wheel horsepower. Later on we may go through and find a little bit more, but we've got to our 600, somewhere in there is the 600 rear wheel horsepower right at the top end. As you can see in comparison, there's what it was. It had 495 rear wheel horsepower, rolling off at the top end a little bit, down at the bottom end. It still had a stall and things in it, but you can see right now how hard this thing is loading up. You can really see it pulling up on the straps heavily down the bottom there, and down at the bottom, that is actually on the stall, sitting at just under 4,000 revs. We've got an increase of over 100 horsepower down the bottom there, and then we pull through up the top here, in the mid-range of probably the peak pull point. There's still a good 60 horsepower increase there, and at the top end it really steps away. You know, that's up into the almost 150 horsepower increase up the top there. So should go really well, running really nicely. Over here at the boost graph, we'll show you what's going on there. Top end running 15 pounds of boost. Where it was running sort of peak boost before, it was just under 10, we're running just under 15, and you can see this thing here, the big difference is going to be down the bottom, where it's running nearly 16 pounds of boost, and of course the Vortex down the bottom end was starting at the 7 pounds of boost. Anyway, this thing is not completely done, almost there, got our 600 rear wheel horsepower, got to set it up on the road now, but should go really well, really quite a quick GTP compared to what it was.